All right, we're going live. I'm going to try out this music. Apparently I can upload my own music, but I might get copyrighted if I do some cool music. So if anybody has like any of their own tunes that they want on one of these lives, hit me up. Can you guys hear the music? Anybody hear that music in the background? I just want to make sure it works. Good afternoon, sir. We're live on YouTube and Instagram. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another Moving to KC Live. We're live on YouTube and Instagram. So regardless of what platform you're watching on, drop a comment down below. Let me know where you're tuning in from. The music's playing. Can you hear me though over the music? That's what I was asking. Let me turn the music off. Can you hear me over the music? I turned it off. Anyway, don't be scared to ask questions throughout the live. Brookside or Overland Park. I don't know what that means. Elaborate. Ultimately, this is for you guys. So while I do have an agenda of topics, I want to hear from you as well. So drop a comment down below. Let me know. What do you want to hear about? Do you want to talk development only? Do you want to talk some real estate? Unfortunately for you on this one, we're going to talk about a little bit of both. With that being said, I have a lot that I want to cover tonight. And we have some big news with a new company possibly setting up shop on the Kansas side, as well as some other developments that are supposed to be completed before the World Cup. And lastly, I do want to talk about this crazy housing market here in Kansas City. So again, if you're watching on YouTube or Instagram, drop a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from so I can give you a call out. What's driving people to KC? We'll talk about that. Also, I don't want to forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, as I am at the mercy of the algorithm gods. So with that being said, where are you guys watching from? Looking to relocate from KC, from Florida. Cool. Can't decide on Brookside or Overland Park. Shoot me a DM, man. I would love to help you with that. We're going to talk a little bit about that. I actually have a video coming out this week where I'm talking about Overland Park and Brookside and just how crazy the market is in those two areas. We got people in the Crossroads, Murphy, Mike coming in from the Crossroads. We got Urbiscus from Overland Park, Jessica from Overland Park. We got my boy Fave Trip over here on YouTube. Good to see you too, man. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, JS Fishman. It's good to see you. Is it a good idea to get a real estate license, even with the new ruling? I don't know. I mean, it depends on if you're going to do it full-time or part-time. If you're just going to try and do it part-time, I would probably say not a good idea. But shoot me a DM. I'd love to chat with you. What's up, Matt Davis? Where are you tuning in from, man? You're over on YouTube. So I can actually show these comments over on YouTube, but I can't on Instagram for some reason. So if you're on YouTube, I do encourage you to drop a comment in the chat so that we can talk. That's kind of what this is for. So first up, we have some pretty big news. It might be the biggest news of the year for the Metro. Buc-ee's Mania. I did a couple of posts over on Instagram that absolutely blew up, and people have strong opinions about Buc-ee's. So let me know in the comments, are you pro Buc-ee's in KC or are you against it? And with that, let's go ahead and jump into this article here. So, all right, Buc-ee's chooses, let me make sure I'm on the screen. So this is from KCUR. Buc-ee's chooses site in Kansas City, Kansas for gas station superstore. I'm pretty excited. We got Brett and Whoopi and Julie saying pro. Matt Davis, thanks, man. tuning in from Kansas City on YouTube. I love to see it. All right, so here it is. The Texas-based chain of these supersized gas station convenience stores is submitted a preliminary plat, a map of the layout, design, and other pertinent facts about the proposal to the unified government of Wyandotte County and Kansas City, Kansas. Now, the site is at the northeast corner of 110th and I-70 next to the Kansas Speedway at the Legends Outlets in Kansas City, Kansas. The United Government planning staffers are expected to analyze Buc-ee's proposal for the site and decide if there is adequate access to public infrastructure. I don't know, guys. Is there adequate access to public infrastructure in Kansas City, Kansas by the Speedway? I think there probably is, but they're building a ton of stuff out there. We have the new Mattel amusement parks getting built out there. They're going to build a Buc-ee's. I mean, it seems like they're doing everything they can to entice the Chiefs or Royals to move out there, but who knows? Now, it did say that Buc-ee's officials declined to comment on proposed plans for the KCK location. So, the plans were submitted, but it's hearsay, essentially, is kind of where we're at with it. And then this recently came out. So the city of Peculiar announces efforts to attract a Buc-ee's location down there. So now we have border war going on between the sports teams and more border war going on trying to get a Buc-ee's in KCK. And now Peculiar is trying to throw their hat in the mix. And actually let me make sure this was a video of this gentleman. I'm not sure if you guys can hear this. Last time I had trouble with this, so drop a comment down below. Can you hear the audio for this video? So Buc-ee's is a massive gas station, is essentially what he goes on to say, and that's a city official trying to entice a Buc-ee's to Peculiar. I don't know. I mean, I guess there is room out there, but let me know what you guys think about that. I would prefer maybe something a little closer to the metro. I'm getting a lot of no's in the comments here, so maybe you guys feel the same way. I would prefer something closer to the metro, but that's just me. I've heard Independence thrown around, but let me know down in the comments. What do you guys think? Where would be a good location for a Buc-ee's on the Missouri side? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Okay, let's move on here to some other developments. We obviously have this Buc-ee's mania going on, but there are other developments taking place here in Kansas City. So we have an article from the Kansas City Business Journal here, and let me just share the screen. Cool. So this is a Kansas City Business Journal article where they are sharing the top KC projects with a target completion ahead of the FIFA World Cup. And essentially they're, these 5 projects. I've done a ton of content on pretty much all of these over on Instagram. So you are more than welcome to go check out those videos. We'll keep it a little brief over here. So the Barney Alice Plaza redevelopment, this is a, $90 million, $120 million project where they're reconstructing this parking garage right across the street from the Kansas City Convention Center. And they're actually going to be less parking spots, but it seems like the focus for Kansas City currently ahead of the World Cup is going to be infrastructure. So you're going to see it kind of a theme throughout that. But 583 space, construction of the new public green space above with features such as an event plaza, a dog park, and cafe that would run between February of 2025 and June of 2026. So they just got the funds secured for this, and that project is underway. This next one is in Lee Summit. So Discovery Park, I again just did a piece over on Instagram on this one, But this is a massive, massive development. The master plan is nearing $1 billion in investment over the next 10 years. It's 4 phases. And I've been over to the 268-acre site. It's going to take approximately 8 years to build. But they say at least 2 components of the plan's initial village at Discovery Phase, a 107-room hotel and a Hilton 120 or by Hilton 123-room Marriott Town Place suites are going to be completed well before the World Cup. And then other elements such as 585 apartments and about 80,000 commercial space, multiple green spaces are targeted for that construction window through October 2026. This one's going to be pretty cool. I mean, this is a massive development. What I love about it is there's actually going to be a water feature over here. They've dug a lake, and you're going to be able to like paddleboard and stuff on it. So it's kind of like a live, work, play, multi-use, mixed-use development going on there. South Loop Link project. So can I get some love in the chat for the South Loop Link project, please? This is the one project that I really want to see completed, guys, ahead of the World Cup. I think it would be amazing for downtown. Obviously, the Royals were wanting to build their site there to kind of, tie into that. But essentially, what is happening with this is they missed out on that $75 million grant from the federal government, and they were wanting to build this thing. They were wanting to build this thing all at once. So it's going to cover 4 blocks over I-670, and they wanted to just do that all at once. However, now the plan is, because funding, we've only raised about half the money that we need to do this project. It looks like it's going to be done in phases. And so that was communicated when I interviewed Mayor Q, and that's echoed here in this article as well. So city officials have said timeline delays could result in the South Loop being built in phases instead of all 4 blocks from the onset. And city manager Brian Platt was on KCUR and said that funds have been raised to date are sufficient for at least a couple sections, and that construction could start near the year's end. So again, hopefully we have that completed ahead of the World Cup. I think it would do wonders for the downtown experience for people coming and visiting our city during that time. So sounds like a lot coming. Any tech? I mean, we have data centers coming. Google's building a data center. Facebook's building a data center. But outside of that, I don't know. Anybody heard any words of tech being brought to Kansas City? So the Samara Road development's another one. Again, this is one where there's just going to be a phase of this project that'll be completed ahead of the World Cup. It's a $500 million live, work, play redevelopment in the West Bottoms, which is one of my absolute favorite places in all of Kansas City. But a big thing with the West Bottoms is just infrastructure. I mean, it's flooded several times, right? And so the roads have washed out, the sewer systems have washed out, just a lot of infrastructure woes down in the West Bottoms. And I've spoken to many, many business owners down there that are frankly excited for this new development that's coming to the West Bottoms, because, buildings down there are crumbling, roads are crumbling. We need some kind of investment taking place over there. So I, for one, am excited for this. And so the bulk of the public infrastructure is expected to be finished around the end of 2025. So again, ahead of the World Cup, and as well as including renovations to the Moline Plow building with 121 apartments, the Perfection Stove Company building with offices and entertainment concept, and the Crooks Terminal Warehouse building. So going to have the first phase hopefully done on that project. And then the 18th and Vine parking garage. So this is the last one here on this list. So again, kind of going back to, how we love our parking here in Kansas City. I mean, it's been a big topic of conversation here lately, but it makes sense. We're going to have hundreds of thousands of people visiting this city in less than 2 years for the World Cup. So we need to have infrastructure. There needs to be, some of this foresight and these projects being completed ahead of that so that we have places for people to park because at the end of the day, we don't have a ton of public transportation. So, and then the other project that kind of broke recently that I'm super excited about is this $800 million project by the KC Current and Port KC. So they recently unveiled this $800 million riverfront development. And this isn't new. I mean, this has been in the works for a long time. They acquired this land like 9 months ago. And so we knew this development was coming. And frankly, again, something I'm very excited about. I love the park down there. I love Art Garden, all that stuff. I hope it's not disrupted too much, but there's still going to be a lot of green space from what they've said. So over 200 million in private development going into this thing, and this just looks awesome. I mean, to be able to access the riverfront like this is going to be so great for our city. So I am excited about that. I'm excited about the Rock Island Bridge, which we're actually doing a YouTube video tour for the Rock Island Bridge coming up. So be on the lookout for that. But the current first mixed use phase will deliver at least 400 apartments, and then of which 10 will be set aside for affordable renters or around $1,000 a month for a one bedroom. And then the plan phase also includes 10 restaurants and retailers, more than 2 acres of public park space. And it does say down here that all in all, the Port KC conveyed to add an additional 3.5 acres to the current, including land, housing, volleyball courts, which I know that some people were upset about those moving. And down here, so they're hoping this first development will be completed ahead of the World Cup. So this is a bonus one. And then obviously we have the streetcar extension, the $61 million extension to Berkeley Riverfront from the River Market. And this is all going to take place over a 10-year period. So it's pretty remarkable to think what, Kansas City is going to look like here in 10 years. So I'm, for one, very excited about a lot of these projects, and let me know which of these projects are you most excited about coming forward here into the next few years. Drop a comment, let me know down below. So let's switch gears here and talk about the housing market in Kansas City. I'm going to take another drink of water. So I usually silence my phone for these things, but I am waiting on word back from an agent because we wrote an offer that we're hoping gets accepted, and it's a multiple offer situation, which is literally every offer that I've written this year has been like this. I mean, the housing market here is absolutely insane, and that was echoed recently. I did a video on this Kansas City Business Journal article that said that in Kansas City, homes sold in a median of 4 days. I mean, that's insane. 4 days on average for the month of March in Kansas City is how quickly homes sold. And guys, we're seeing homes sell much faster than that. I mean, this one that we're waiting on word back from, and that we're waiting on word back from this agent. Actually, I got to shoot her a text real quick. Hold with me for a minute. See page 2, section D. Sorry. We wrote this offer on this house, and there's another offer, and they're making a decision tonight in like 20 minutes. So I have to be around my phone for that because my client really wants this house. So yeah, and this house just went live yesterday. So it's going to be under contract, at the end of the night or sometime tomorrow. So that's, less than 48 hours this house has been on the market. And a big part of that is due to inventory. So continuing to push prices higher, continuing to create this ultra competitive situation. In February, about 33% of listings sold for over asking price, according to Zillow. And that's compared to in 2019, where around 23% of homes sold over asking. So the market here is insane. But are you in the market right now? Let me know. If you're relocating here, obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment where you're moving from, and if I can help, shoot me a DM. I'd love to see about helping. So the last thing that I want to cover here is we did have a new data drop for our local market. So every month we get a new data release for housing market data for the Kansas City market. And this is all public information. So you can go to kcrar.com and you can review this information if you'd like. If you're a nerd like me, I love statistics. So I'm frankly really excited every time the second week of the month when this new data release comes out, because I nerd out a little bit about it. So here we have for the month of March, and this really what they do here is they summarize kind of what's going on at a national level at the beginning, and then they kind of zero in a little bit more about what's going on hyper local here. So just thought I'd kind of read through this with you guys a little bit. So the existing home sales improved for the second month in a row, jumping to 9.5% to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 4.4 million units, exceeding economists' expectations and marking the largest monthly gain in a year, according to NAR. The rebound in home sales comes amid fluctuating mortgage rates and elevated sales prices, indicating there's plenty of buyer demand heading into the spring selling season. And boy, is that true for Kansas City. So closed sales decreased by 0.4% for existing homes and 1.6% for new homes. And again, this is a lagging report. So this is all for, March data. But pending sales, this is more of a leading indicator. Pending sales increased 7.6% for existing homes and 13.7% for new homes for the month of March. And that was pretty surprising to me, honestly, because new home sales for new construction has been down quite a bit. So let's jump into the numbers. This page here is for existing home sales only. So this is for the resale market. And we'll go through, look at the resale market, we'll look at new construction, and then we'll look at existing and new construction combined. So kind of echoing what it said in that first page, pending home sales are up 7.6% for the month of March. That's year over year. So we went from 2,900 to 3,100. So, I mean, it's only a couple of hundred new pending sales, but it is a 7.6% increase. Meanwhile, inventory actually rose for resale, again, only by a couple of hundred homes, but 6.4%. You have a little bit of a rise in average days on market. And I find this hard to believe. 98% of original list price received. I mean, I'm not writing any offers on houses that are under the list price. So I would love to know where those houses are. If you have any idea, please let me know in the comments below. And you have an average sales price of $312,000. That's up by 5%. Median's up by 6.3%. Only 1.4 months of supply. So the equation for supply is you basically take the active listings divided by the home sold in the last 30 days, and that's going to give you your months of supply. So essentially what this means is that if there were no new homes that were listed on the market, it would take 1.4 months for us to sell through all the inventory on our market. Now, a balanced market, or what they call a balanced market, is between 4 to 6 months of inventory, which you can tell we're well off of that. All right, now going to new construction homes, we have an increase of almost 14% on pending sales, but a huge decrease in inventory in new construction. So this kind of plays out when you look back at permits pulled. We had a huge drop in permits being pulled in new construction. And so builders have kind of pulled back a little bit because of interest rates. And you can see there's a huge spike in pending sales. And so that's eating into the inventory there. Meanwhile, you have both the average sales price and the median sales price coming down a bit there, and way less competitive on the new construction side of things. We are in somewhat of a more balanced market for new construction. So if you have a budget of around 500,000 or more, because that's really what you're looking at for new construction, then that might be the right way to go, because the resale market is absolutely insane right now. So let's scroll down here and take a look at this last slide, which is new and existing combined. So when you see all the stats pumped out by realtors every month, when they're dropping these data releases from the nationals or from our regional association of realtors, this is what they're focused on. So I don't like it as much because it is a little bit skewed, but it does give us a full picture of what the inventory and the stats as a whole really play out to be. So for pending sales, we went up 8.2%, inventory down by 1.8%, and supply at 1.8 months of supply. Meanwhile, we did have an increase in both average sales price and median sales price of around 4 and 5%. So, again, when we go back and look at the new construction versus resale, you can tell how these would get a little bit skewed. But with that being said, the market is crazy right now. Again, I've written several offers this year. This client that we're waiting to hear back on this offer for, this will be our fourth that we've written over the past 3 weeks. And, it's been a lot of heartbreak and losses here recently. But with that being said, this too shall pass, I think is what they often say. This is the busiest time for home buying and home selling in every market across the country. This is when most people move. This is when they sell their house. They're trying to get out of their home and into another one before the school year starts. So if you're a seller, great time to sell. If you're a buyer, if you can afford to wait, it might do you well in a lot of emotional and financial stress. So with that being said, let me know what questions you guys have down in the comments. Do you have any questions about specific areas in the housing market, or some specific stats, or maybe some development questions? And this is, again, what this is for, guys. So, I'd love to get some more engagement from you in terms of what you're looking for on these lives. I want to try and make these a little more of a regular thing on my channel. But obviously, if you haven't been able to tell, I changed offices. So I got a new studio set up here, and that was the reason for the delay recently with getting out with another one of these lives. So any questions regarding housing market, Kansas City, future of Kansas City, what's going on with Buc-ee's? Again, I've never been to a Buc-ee's, so let me know. Let me know your experience. Has anybody got a Buc-ee's experience that they want to drop down in the comments? I'd love to hear about it. What's up, Chris? I saw you join. All right, guys. So if no other questions, then be sure to check out this replay over on YouTube and drop a comment down below there if you have any questions. And we will see you on the next live stream.